But please don't live with a girlfriend in the same house.
Why?
Do not live with a woman before you marry her.
What Wakeyuka Kahawa? This is for you. Why?
Because dating is interview. And if you start living with a person, it's like you're being interviewed 24/7. Even when
then it means this is a practice. They should, if they pass the interview, it means you can live with them forever. Why would you want to find out more about them as a surprise?
When you go for interview, we dress up and you brush your teeth. But if the interviewers are examining you, even when your breath is stinking in the morning, and now you are sleeping at night, and the weird sounds people produce, and the way you don't even... You need space. Let me tell you, interview does not mean faking. It means examining a person with the freedom to leave or come. And I want to warn men to leave university students alone. Don't date university girls. They're not yet 25. And their brain and their personality solidifies at 25. You don't know who you're dealing with if she's 23. First, she's very unstable. She gets overwhelmed easily. She gets excited easily. She's do you know microwave? I call those girls microwave.
18 to 25, no go zone.
25 and 24 and below, leave those girls alone.
No go zone, no. Totally.
If you love your sanity, leave those girls alone.
Even if they've been raised in church. Even if
it's
they
about
know Jesus.
Their developmental stage. It's not about their spirituality. In fact, many of them are spiritual because they were colonized into spirituality by their parents. They were forced to pray, forced to go to church. One day she'll grow and say, what is this? I don't even know what it is. They're still exploring. And I want to ask women to leave men under 30 alone.
So I should be single as in legally, by morality, I should be single.
I want to ask, men, their brain matures at 25, their personality begins to show, but men go through another, generally 5-year cycle of exploration. Okay. The club type goes party after party.
Okay.
They go partying, experimenting, and then his cut is a good cut. Anything female, they just look at it. The testosterone is reigning supreme.
So, kindly confirm this again. Men before the age of 30 and women under the age of 25 are allowed to be sinners. Just confirm.
They don't need permission. They are restless. They are restless. They don't know who they're becoming. The biggest thing with women is women and their emotional life, they are so intertwined that almost it's engulfed in how they feel. So girls 24, 23, 22, 21 are erratic.
Okay, then if men under 20, as in above 29, above 30, are mature and are ready for marriage and are ready for everything, life and everything.
And not all of them.
I would have asked you to explain
saying
Willis Rabu.
This is a sequence of development. Once your brain has matured, it gives you ability to think, but not everybody uses it. Not everybody thinks it. Not everybody learns. Some people never learn at 60. And we are saying human behavior usually follows patterns, but it's not cast on stone. You can find a few people married under 25 or under 30, and they got it well. But there's so few, and those are the ones who have been learning constantly under mentorship and coaching by their mentors or fathers or parents. And there's so few. It's like crossing River Limpopo on a rope, and you can't prescribe that as a means of transport.
Okay, thank you. In which case, I'd love to hear your definition. This is one of my favorite questions. Then how do you tell that a woman is ripe for your ripeness over 30?
3 things. 3 things. Just check 3 things. Other things are, 1, virtuous. Virtue means, does she have the wife quality of being honest, stable? Does she look composed? These qualities are so rare to get. I don't want you to be confused by charisma and charm and shape and beauty and slay and atmosphere. That's what men look at. A girl who slays.
What else are we supposed to look at? You can't post virtue on Instagram. You cannot post
So I want a woman with character. When I say virtue, I simply mean a woman whom you can say she's honest. A girl who is lying, a girl who is a woman should. Virtuous girls don't ask for money. That's a very simple definition. And they don't need to be sent fare to come. And that fare does not mean she's coming to your house. That is not dating, that is nonsense. Don't sleep with a woman whom you intend to marry. You are teaching her what you do, and she will never trust you because she knows your capacity. If you are serious with a woman, don't take her to bed. Examination is not done in bedroom, it's done in boardroom.
So if you're dating, you have cancelled all the options. Where do we meet?
We meet in hotels. We meet on video calls. We meet in public places where you can see people in the right behavior. Once a woman shows you her thighs and her chest, your thinking switches off. You can't even examine her when you're seeing her body. Some are slain, the body is glowing, but there's no character. The container is so decorated, but the content is missing. You cannot see the real character if you're thinking with the thing between your legs. You need the thing between your ears.
So if you meet a girl and you're 29, if you actually start dating a girl when you're 29 and she's 24, you should actually wait for 5 years.
Don't choose a woman when she's under 25. You don't know her. It's an egg. She's yet to hatch. Egg, lava, pupa, maggot. This is a maggot.
And this is standard. Sawa sawa. Back to standing with you in terms of your friends.
All right. So we're saying your nuclear family, your wife and your children, those are your go-to people. You're going to court, you're going to cultivate that friendship and loyalty and presence at all costs. Those are the guys who can go down with you. But they don't go down with you when you neglected them. You invest. It's the man who leads. I wish this was man talk, but we need another day for man talk. It's the guy who sets the pattern. You know, meal time? Kingori meal time is a must. Eating time, start it early. Even if you live in Mombasa, have a regular visits time where you guys can just be you and your woman. Then when the child arrives, even if you're not talking, call her up and ask men to learn to call their women 3 times like painkiller. 1 times 3. Morning, noon. Even if she's quiet, call over the quietness.
Na wakati ya kukuwa na simu, kwani how are they surviving?
They used other means. They used other means. Today we are not there. And those people keep confusing. Our parents married at 18. I tell you, this is a problem. If you want, one of the things that happened in our generations past is that women were suppressed and their potentials were ignored and they were made the subject of men. That the society was patriarchal and women had no voice and she was just had to be seen and used and she was not to be heard. No wonder so few women became anything. So few. Those who became anything, either to divorce or never to marry. So today, it's our potential that matters. And the reason we are that word, Kingori, is because we waste our potential. University students, they're graduating pregnant. Can you imagine? Says a government, just stupidity. You should have developed your potentials first.
But you have graduated as a mother.
You should have first of all graduated as, how did Zuckerberg invent Facebook? While in the university. Yes. Look at the guys who changed the world. They started with experimentation, pushing for their potential. Our stupid university students are living in each other's rooms today. Doing nothing, crying all the night. Oh, did not talk to me. Oh, can abandon me. Stupid, get out. Go experiment with your potentials. These guys who can't afford their own underwear are busy talking to a girl, buying a lollipop of 10 shillings, promising her something you also don't know. But then let me announce to men, after you graduate, it average takes you about 10 years to stabilize financially.
Before you make money.
Yes. Stop promising, oh, baby, there's this future. Oh.
So that's where people make mistakes. You date before you stabilize financially.
And exactly. And then you promise something you do not know.
And if you date when you're already financially stable, aren't you setting yourself up for a trap of someone loving you for your money?
We don't mean wealthy, because you need the woman again to shape you up to be wealthy. Most men are scattered. If the money comes, when he has no discipline, those women are the one who organize you. The man will be scattered and busy. Look at men who become slaves, who become things without women. They're scattered. So we mean when you have financial foundation, okay? You have marketable skills. Either you have a job or there's something you can sell and pay salon for the girl, pay rent. You have basic financial foundation. You have marketable skills. And remember, 60% of Kenyans don't practice the degree they studied, okay? Yes. So 60% of people have another journey after they graduate to find themselves. They came for this degree because their uncle advertised it. The CPA is very good. Go do CPA, go do BCom.
I've been advocating against that, sana, the education system and what it makes of people. If 60% is a number you cannot ignore, then what does this mean?
It means we should have started with the personality testing. We should have started by telling kids that, please study yourself before you choose any career. You don't make it famous. I mean, career does law have market? Is it marketable? It's about whether you love it. Your heart matters more than your head. Did you realize getting grade A is sometimes a curse more than a blessing? Yes, because it makes it possible to do any degree. And now you're lost for choice. And now you're confused. You never listen to your heart. You listen to your head. I did law myself, but I could tell law is only a starting point. It's not my staying point. And many of us were lost and confused because this family only do the big 5, you know. You come from medicine or law, engineering, architecture, you know. But that's not you. You simply wanted to be a comedian. Joker. You're talking about jokes. This family, they are jokers.
So it's safer to get a D- who back in a catering, na
Get the best. I found that most girls, I was looking for a girl of C myself quietly.
Looking for a girl?
Of C+. I was just looking for a degree. I just looked for basic degree.
For what? To marry?
A wife. When I was looking, I was careful.
Oh, you vetted your wife based on high
No,
school
I could not say it, but some things you don't say. You just know them. You don't say them. I had interacted with the airplane. I have no problem with the airplane girls. They are very bright. But I realize many of them don't cultivate the character. They just operate on their brilliance, and that's all. They hate cooking. They hate, I don't wash anybody's thing. But I wanted a practical wife, my friend. Some have an activist. You can't marry an activist. Whatever a man can do, how man can do it. We are bringing something to the table. Let us split in value. We listen. We cooperate with them publicly for political purposes. But in private, we all know we want a practical wife.
But you yourself mentioned that in the past, these marriages worked or may have been thought to have worked because women were oppressed. So it would come across as you are a supporter of women empowerment. So women empowerment is also
I'm a
to some extent.
big advocate of women being empowered and pursuing their dreams. But I'm also a big advocate of a woman being comfortable in her position as a wife. If she has chosen to get married, marriage is not compulsory. You can live alone. So don't marry a man to torture him. If you hate the position of a wife, don't fake so that I marry you, then you torment me by refusing everything. Refusing everything that a wife is supposed to do. Yes. Think soberly. Are you willing to yield? Submission means to yield, to give way, to be comfortable with your position. And wise women know that submission is a position of power. Once you know the man, men are so vulnerable. They're so easy to read. Men are straight lines. Men are patterns. They live on patterns. There's a way he breathes when he's comfortable.
If you think about it, men are a straight line.
Yes. Women are the ones who are zigzag and spiral. They change. So sometimes she's crying. What are you crying? How are you feeling? I don't know. She also doesn't know why she's crying.
Exactly.